Yeah. MD. JPB. It's only right, baby.
Yeah. Why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stubbed, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Go run it back.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of F, and I'm back here with another video. Today I'll be doing What If Deku Had Darkseid's Powers Part 8. And I know I haven't posted this one in a while, which goes for every What If that I've ever posted, because so last time we left off, Deku just destroyed All For One after being asked for help, because of course shit was going down. Before that, he stopped the advances of the villains who interrupted the training camp. And last time he spoke to All For One before he ended his reign, this man put the fear of God in him. And he said that he could never beat him. And of course now All For One knows this more than ever because he has experienced how much stronger Deku is. Now after beating All For One, Deku was going to get a lot of attention, which will kind of hinder him in a bit, but not like really in the story. So yeah. So I left off with Deku having breakfast, so we're going to skip past that. We're going to go to a few days when Aizawa and All Might will be going from house to house to let parents in on the news, because dorms were going to be instituted into UA from now on, because they had way too many close calls. Sure, Deku came in clutch like every time, but the public now knew of him and his power, so it was wrong to put that much pressure on anyone, especially a kid. So they wanted to put him, as well as the other students, in a place where he won't be bothered by reporters every day, which was going to happen if he stayed in his old apartment. But now that he left, his mom can just have the parademons take care of everything and scare the reporters off. So, yeah. Soon All Might and Aizawa would come to Deku's house again, and Inko would hear a knock, and she would yell, "I'll get it." She would then open the door and welcome in the two teachers, who would sit down and ask for Deku to come. Inko would then say, he's training, so he's a bit busy at the moment, but if you'll follow me, I can bring you to him. This apartment seems a bit small to train in, doesn't it? Asked All Might. Inko would then say, just follow me. They would then walk and follow Inko to Deku's room, and as they enter, they don't see him there, but what they see is another door right next to his bed, and Inko opens it as a blinding white light just hits her as well as everyone. This door opens, and they would hear explosions and like thumping noises, and Aizawa would ask, what is this? Him and All Might would enter this white room and be shocked as they see Deku fighting with himself, and he has his shirt off because he's sweating a lot, and Deku made his parademon copy him in strength and looks so they could fight because he was bored. But of course, this isn't what's most shocking about the situation. Deku would then notice people entering his space and would stop fighting. All Might? Aizawa-sensei? The parademon would then regain its beast form as it teleports away, and both All Might and Aizawa would just fall on their butts simultaneously, asking, what the hell is this place? Deku would then come down, because he was flying when he was fighting the parademon, and it would help them up, as he says, this is a transdimensional pocket dimension. In case you didn't know, I took this from The Flash. There are like a lot of like examples of like any villain using these kind of powers, but I specifically took it from The Flash when they fought the Thinker, aka DeVoe. So yeah, I just thought it was a cool concept. The two, of course, would not understand what the hell he just said and be confused, as Inko says that it confuses her as well, so it's okay. Deku would then say, all you need to know is, this is like my own personal world, I guess you could say. I made it, and I can do anything I want here. So what did you guys want to talk to me about? All Might, still a bit stunted, would then say, we came here to bring you to UA due to what happened recently, so we have a dorm system. Man, I cannot get over this place. It's kind of giving me a headache just thinking about how you made this. Deku would then say that they should probably go to the living room or he's just going to pass out. So they would do this. They would head down as Deku was told what is happening ever since he beat All For One. So at this point, Inko is not going to like say, no, I don't want him to go. She's going to let him go because there's no point in holding him back. He's too OP at this point to like, yeah, he's OP. Otherworldly powerful. That's another way for it. Anyway, so Deku would agree to go to UA as he packs his things up. And of course, due to his recent popularity, he was not allowed to walk to UA. He was told to use his teleport quirk and go to UA. Yeah, so a few days later would like a few days would just pass as Deku gets a call telling him to leave, and he would look at his mom who was just like waiting for him with his like um suitcase, and he would say, I guess this is it. Yep, take care of yourself, says Inko. He would then hug her as Deku says, I'll visit you whenever I can, alright? She would then say alright as he would take a few steps back and wave at her, saying, bye, Mom. You would then disappear and appear in front of Aizawa and his classmates, saying, hey guys. Everyone would then yell his name as they jump him, asking if he was really okay because they saw him on the news. Everyone did. I mean, he was kicking ass. Seriously. Watch the last part. He was destroying all for one. But still, at a certain point, they thought he was going to die. Jiro would then say, we were so worried about you. Why would they ask you to fight that thing? You know why, says Deku. Jiro would then say, I know, but it's still stressful. And they would be kind of like getting up, like all close and personal, with Bakugo saying, hey, not here. Do that literally anywhere else. Deku would then say, Bakugo, I see you haven't changed one bit. Is that an insult? Asked Bakugo. Deku would then say, you tell me. Aizawa would then say, stop it, you two. And Bakugo would say, fine, but, for what it's worth, even though I hate to admit it, you were pretty awesome out there. Deku would then say thanks, as Aizawa would tell everyone about how things are gonna go now. So they step inside the dorms, and the first floor is like the common space. There are baths, laundry room, and all that. As for everyone else's rooms, I don't know what half of is for the boys or for the girls. Is it the half from the top or the half from the bottom? You tell me in the comments. So they're separated for boys and girls. So that's how the rooms go. And of course, they have their own personal rooms. They're not sharing a bunk bed or anything. And they explored the building. It was like a goddamn mansion. And by the time they finished bringing their stuff in and checking out the place, it was already night. And everyone would be in the living room. And by everyone, I mean specifically the boys. They would just be talking, relaxing, and the girls would walk up with Mina asking, "Hey guys, have you done setting up everything?" And Kaminari would say, "Yep, we're just chilling." "Wait, where's Deku?" asked Jiro. "Midoriya is in his room," says Todoroki. This is when Mina would have the idea of showcasing their rooms to each other. And this would terrify the boys because what if the girls went into their rooms and thought it was lame? So they suggested that they go to Deku's room first to, make it easier for them to show their rooms. And as they found his room, there would be lights flickering from under his door as they would open his door and they would see a workshop. It's basically a workshop and a lab. Deku's room was like a lab. He had test tubes and tons of fluid and technology just lying around. He was creating something right now, actually. He was welding something, there was a bunch of heat and he had goggles on. But then he would see his classmates enter and take them off. What are you guys doing here? Dude, this is your room? Asked Kirishima. He would then enter his room and pick up a wand, but it was made of metal. I wouldn't touch that if I were you, says Deku. Momo would then ask why, and Deku says because it could blow your head off. And Kirishima would instantly drop it, scared as hell, and the others would back away from it, as would he. And Deku would then ask, "What are you guys doing here?" They would then start looking around his room, while telling him that they had this idea to pass the time, and they were gonna see everyone's room to see which one is the best. Deku would then say, "That's fine, but don't touch anything unless I say it's okay, especially that guitar." "Then why is Jiro touching it?" asked Mineta. Deku would then say, "She's my girlfriend. Also, she can play it, so she won't ruin the strings." Jiro would then blush as she actually remembers something, and she hands an envelope to Deku. And when he opens it, he sees that it is a letter from Kota thanking him. And he thinks, oh, he must have been too shy, so he gave it to her instead. "Well, what is it?" asked Jiro. Deku would then say, "I'll tell you later. Well, what do you guys think about my room?" Momo will be checking out all his technology in amazement, and she says that she gives it a 10 out of 10 for the technology, but Mina would say, "You get 5 for lack of cleanliness. You should really organize everything." He would definitely agree, as they would then go to check out everyone else's rooms, and in the end, the one who ends up winning is Sato because his cake was delish. So after this, everyone would go to class, and the next day, Aizawa tells them that today will be the day when they're working on their special moves. And everyone would be excited because they were finally doing something that, they were basically doing for their entire lives for fun. If you have a quirk, you'd be definitely working on special moves every day. So yeah. Other heroes would then enter the classroom like Ectoplasm, Midnight, and Cementos, as they would tell the students to dress up and go to a new field. The new field is called TDL, or Training Dreamland, as per what I read in the manga. And all the heroes, especially Cementos and Ectoplasm, using their powers would be like, supervising everyone. Cementos would create pillars for people to like practice on, and Ectoplasm would be everywhere literally because of his clones, and he could watch everything and help everyone. Now, as Deku would be watching everyone just trying to make their special moves, he would be stretching, wondering what he should do. Ectoplasm would then walk up to him asking, "So, Midoriya, you got any ideas?" Well, I did have one idea. I actually kind of copied your style of, well, kicking. Mind if I use you as a training partner? Ectoplasm would of course agree, as Deku says that he's going to attack him and he's going to try to dodge. And when he says this, they stand about like 30 feet from each other, and Deku starts slowly walking towards him. And then he starts disappearing and appearing out of his sight from left to right to left to right. And then when he took one more step closer, he jumped and spun as he disappeared once again, only to reappear right in front of Ectoplasm with a kick way too fast for him to follow. He gets sent flying into a wall as Deku lands, and well, this clone poofs because it was a clone. That's not actually Ectoplasm. Everyone would then see this and be impressed, but not exactly know what he did because it was way too fast. Deku would then look at another clone of Ectoplasm, asking, "So, what do you think? I'm thinking of calling them Phantom Steps. Instead of teleporting and pausing what I'm doing before the next attack, it's a continuous flow of movements even when I teleport and after I teleport, and I make my movements slow in the beginning to catch my opponents off guard. It's pretty simple, but it works." Yet another great show of strength, young Midoriya. All Might would have then entered the building in a small Might form as he said, "Hi," to everyone. And then he would look at Deku saying, "So, Phantom Steps, I like it. You got anything else?" Deku would then say that he's working on something, but he'll let him know when he's done with it. All Might would then smile as he goes to give the students some advice, and they definitely appreciate it. So a few hours would pass with everyone coming up with new styles and new ways of fighting and trying really hard, especially since they saw Deku put his life on the line. They don't want to feel useless like last time, so as they will be doing this, they will be pushing themselves. And this is when Bakugo will be practicing his AP shots, which he's already like gotten control of because Deku is stronger in this timeline, so he's been practicing this. And I think I made him use it on Deku during the sports festival. If I didn't, just let me know. But he's practicing his AP shots. This is when he makes a bunch of like boulders start falling, and they're heading right for All Might. Bakugo would then yell, "Watch out!" Everyone would then warn him to get out of the way as he would notice the boulders about to hit him, when all of a sudden they start to just regress in size, and everyone is shocked. They would continue to regress and regress and regress until they're as small as a speck of dust, basically doing nothing to All Might when they hit him because you can't even see them anymore anyway. Everyone would then turn to see that Deku did this, and Kaminara would yell, "Dude, what the hell was that?" Deku would then say, "I can augment size. It's another one of my quirks, so I wanted to see if I could change things at long range distances." Everyone would then be amazed that he got stronger again, and it would slightly piss off Bakugo. All Might would then say, wait. So, if you didn't manage to do that perfectly, I would have been crushed, right? "Don't worry," says Deku. "I could have healed you. You'd feel even better than before." Aizawa and Ectoplasm would then scold them regardless, like they would scold them in anger, but All Might would then start to remember what Deku just said. He said he could heal him. And this kid is smart enough to create his own freaking pocket dimension and make a bunch of other gadgets, so there was a chance he could heal his injury, so he would run to him saying, "Young Midoriya, is there a chance that you can..." Deku would then cut him off. "Yes, I can heal you. Honestly, it's not that hard." Aizawa would then yell, What didn't you say anything?" "You never asked," says Deku. "Also, I thought it wasn't that big of a deal. Aren't there machines out there that can heal you? I've already made one." See, this is why I didn't want to say anything. Smart people always get really annoying, and they sound annoying and patronizing. Aizawa would then start dragging Deku away as he said, "Bye guys, I'll be back soon." Deku would then be dragged to the teacher's lounge, where All Might asked if he could heal him right now, even without the device. And for a while, Deku would explain the science behind how he would do it, but Aizawa would just like get more mad at him as Deku would say, "Fine, I'll heal you, but this is really gonna hurt. All your destroyed organs will be repairing at a very fast rate. Can you handle all that pain?" All Might would then nod as he pulls up his shirt, and Deku touches the wound for about 5 seconds, and he takes his hand off. All Might would then go to ask if something like big was supposed to happen, when all of a sudden he would fall to the ground, kind of like in huge amounts of pain. Aizawa would then go to help him up, but Deku says to leave him alone because you can't get too close. All Might would then be enshrouded in steam as he kept growing in size until he stood back up straight and he realized that he was back to full strength. Young Midoriya, you did it. I feel even stronger than before. Wow, you're not wrong. It actually does still hurt. Oh, God. Deku would then say that's completely normal. You're still regenerating, so you shouldn't fight or anything for at least one day, alright? You can stretch and things like that, but I don't recommend getting in a few spars or anything. All Might would then thank him from the bottom of his heart as his eyes are filled with tears because now he can finally get back on the streets again and do his job. Deku would then return back to the training field as we cut to when it's night. Everyone did their stuff. The girls would be sitting in the living room just talking about their special moves when they would hear a loud sound. What was that? Asked Uraraka. They would then all look outside the windows to see Deku practicing punches and his phantom steps. His kicks would be causing literal shockwaves that he seemed to be getting better at flowing his moves. Like it was as if he was actually like those old cameras with those like pictures following every step in like perfect order before it comes to like the end. That's Deku right now. He's actually like flowing the movements as he teleports, which I think is honestly really hard to do when you have a quirk like that. So I just thought it was a cool move. Jiro would then say, "He's so cool, isn't he?" "Yeah, cool," whispers Uraraka. The boot camp would then continue for days and days as Deku would get a complete handle on changing the size of things and his phantom steps. And his phantom steps combined with his super speed made him basically unstoppable. Not that he'll really need to use them anyway. Now, soon it was the day of the provisional license exam, and Class 1A would arrive on their bus with Class 1B following behind. And as they get off the bus, this is when they would start to get nervous and sweaty. Of course, they get it together eventually because they have a powerhouse on their team, and they would instantly look at Deku. Of course, Todoroki and Bakugo aren't bothered. They don't give a damn. Deku would then ask, "What is it this time?" "Yeah, I think we're gonna be just fine," says Todoroki. They would then all laugh, really confusing Deku, until all of a sudden someone very loud comes up from behind their group and bows so hard that his head hits the hard concrete. Inasa, yelling, would then say, "Allow me to welcome you all. I've heard great things about you." "That's fine, but you should probably take it down a notch, man," says Kaminari. He would then apologize while still yelling, and they notice his cap and know what school he's from. Should get too high. His other classmates would then walk up from behind and just like apologize for his craziness. This is when all the students of Shiketsu would notice Deku and be kind of scared. They forget that they had to fight this monster. I don't know why I say that, it's so funny. They forgot that they had to fight this monster, and this is when Aizawa would tell them that they need to go. But he also says, "None of you should get cocky. That kid Inasa, he's a force to be reckoned with." "Is that so? This is going to be fun," says Deku. Aizawa would then be smirking, thinking, "Well, I can't disagree with that." The class would then head ahead to go and leave, but this is when they're met by another class, and they meet a kid named Shindo, who would come up to them with a really warm smile, but he made a mistake because this time the first person's hand he tried to shake was Bakugo's. Bakugo would smack his hand away, saying, "Fuck off. You're too suspicious. Your words don't match the look on your face." Hearing this, Deku would say this in quite a cold voice. "Guys, let's go." And you. Shindo would then look at him, and Deku would say, "Fuck off before I make you." Shindo would then back off as with his classmates as well, and everyone, like every other class, they would just feel this pressure. Bakugo says, "Looks like he's realized it too. Everyone's out to get us." Now, time skip to when the students are in a room just listening to the rules of the exams, and the men explaining everything just look really tired, blah, blah, blah. After he's done explaining, they would all start like placing their targets on, and they receive their balls, which is about 6 for everyone, and you know how the rest goes. Now, all of the students will be just in the room when all of a sudden it starts to unfold, and they see the terrain that they're supposed to be fighting on. Deku then flies up, taking in the fresh air as he says, "It's been a while." Everyone would then notice him flying as they start whispering things like, "It's that kid on the news. He's the one that saved All Might and beat that villain. We're supposed to beat him? How is that fair?" They would be mumbling and talking about this, with Deku hearing it all, and the countdown would then start. But as soon as it does, everyone just starts to separate, with only a certain few staying in groups, and However, Deku expected this, especially from his class, like people and like Bakugo and Todoroki going off, but he knows how to take care of it. Now, when the countdown hits 0 and the proctor says start, a group of students from 1A, from UA, are ambushed, and in an instant, Deku would appear in front of his classmates. Not today. He would then put his hands up as everyone is frozen in midair. Everyone that was attacking them is frozen in midair. Everyone, as well as the other teachers, would notice this and be shocked as Miss Joke would ask Aizawa, how the hell can he do that without any drawbacks? Well, he doesn't have any, says Aizawa. Miss Joke would be really shocked, saying, what? Aizawa would then say, well, from what I've seen, anyway. Matter of fact, he never looks tired. He's like a self-sustained powerhouse. It's terrifying, isn't it? These words would send chills down her spine as Deku would then push back everyone, and the force of this push would rip up the ground as it sends everyone flying, and he would then turn back. Well, guys, I gave you a hand, but now you need to do this on your own. I gotta go. You understand, right? Jiro would then say, it's fine. You've been more than enough help. Go enjoy yourself. Deku would then smile as he blasts off into the city area where he would see Inasa about to cause a massive attack and pass, like in the original. Deku would then say, yo. Inasa would then look up and say, ah, it's you. He would then send a huge gust of wind at him, but Deku would counteract with a punch that causes a shockwave and sends him flying. Inasa would then come back at him with another punch, but Deku would just dodge it as he just teleports behind him and hits him to the ground once again, which leaves him a bit injured, but not too injured to continue. Inasa then staggers up, saying, man, that guy is no joke, but I wouldn't expect any less. Deku would then fly back to the the rubbles, like the area where there's just it's not the city area, but it's kind of the same. It's just a wild plain that's been destroyed, and he would just land as he uses his telekinesis to move the balls he had with so much control that he would get more than 200 points in an instant, and he just passes. But as he does this, he feels a presence, and just as he feels this, he just jumps out of the way to dodge a ball from a girl, and he grabs her hand as he pulls her over and neck chops her. I already passed the test. What the hell is she doing? Says Deku. However, this is when he would see the girl change form and she would turn into Toga and she had no clothes on. Also, nobody saw this. He was basically alone. Nobody actually saw this. So, yeah. So, Deku, after seeing this weird crap that just unfolded, would get an idea as he would take out a little remote and taps a blue button on it. This would create a wormhole which would suck up Toga into his pocket dimension. I'm tired of dealing with these people. From now on, I'll just keep them in there or something. And as he said this, he would then just fly to the waiting room to wait for the others. And soon everyone from Class 1A would pass, and about 100 people passed, if I'm not wrong. So when they're inside this room, they would see a giant screen just flare up. I wonder what's going on, asked Soraka. They would then all watch as the field they participated on is turned into a huge disaster site, and the proctor would say, this will be the last stage of your exam. This site is made for all of you to conduct rescues, and along with this, there will be bystanders in the field for you to rescue. Everyone would then be wondering what he means by that when they would see actual people in the disaster site, and even people just acting as hurt people, and this was actually a job. They were rescuees, and they get paid for this stuff, which kind of surprised everyone, but Deku would then just be standing around talking to Todoroki and Bakugo when they would be approached by Inasa, and he seems to be looking at Todoroki with hate. Did something happen between you two when I wasn't looking? Says Deku. Inasa would then say that he hates both Todoroki and his father, which would surprise Deku a bit because Endeavor being hated is understandable, but why Todoroki? However, he wouldn't really say anything because it's not his business. Also, he remembers that, Todoroki wasn't always the person he is right now because he used to be a bit of a cold dick, so yeah. So this is when Inasa would ask if there was any chance him and Deku would be fighting again, but he would be cut off by Bakugo, who would yell, Oi, you think I'm invisible or something? If anybody's gonna beat this bastard, it's gonna be me. Inasa would then ask, are you sure you two are friends? They would then both say, it's complicated. Todoroki would then chuckle, as would everyone from their class, because their relationship really makes no sense to anyone. And this is when, this is also true in the anime, and this is when all of a sudden the room would fall apart again with the proctor wishing everyone good luck. Bakugo and Todoroki don't like being in groups, but they do agree to bring over people they rescued, and because Bakugo has been humbled by Deku, he's not going to be yelling at people. He's gonna actually be rescuing them. So people will split into teams with Deku having Mina, Ida, Ochako, and yeah, that's it. They'll be running forward when they hear a cry and see someone crying. Well, they're an actor, but they're still crying and asking for their grandpa. Hearing this, Deku would instantly search for the grandpa using his heightened senses, and he would tell the others, "Guys, the grandpa is under the rubble over there. Go get him. I'll bring this civilian to the aid station that Momo set up." Uraka would then ask, "Momo set up a aid station?" Deku would then point at his eyes. "Enhanced senses, okay? Now go, go, go." He would then pick up the guy and fly fast, but not too fast, because normal people can't handle him flying at full speed. The rescuee would then be like thinking, "Not bad." He assessed the situation and gave clear orders. Deku would then arrive at the aid station and help expand Momo's like borders of her aid station with this matter manipulation quirk. Deku's team would then arrive with more people as they would keep patching up people, not really, but like they're putting bandages on them. Deku would then go out and using his telekinesis would lift rubble off of people and saving people efficiently. And he was doing this with like, how do I say this? He was just doing this with such efficiency that every rescuee gave him a really good score. However, once he returned to the station aid like again, and he brought another person to be healed, a wall in the stadium would be blown through, which shocks people, and out of the dust and the rubble, out comes, well, Gang Orca. Gang Orca would then say, "Now, how will you respond, heroes?" "What the hell is this? This is overkill," says Mineta. Deku would then say, "Don't worry, I got it." But as he said this, both Bakugo and Todoroki would come out and challenge Gengorka themselves. But he isn't a joke, so yeah. I mean, he's also being held back. If you don't remember in the original, Gengorka had to wear this like bracelet thing. I think it's kind of like All Might's. He was forced to hold back, so he ain't no joke. But yeah, Bakugo and Todoroki would be arguing over like fighting, but they were actually doing really good. That is until Inasa came in and made Todoroki argue with him, and their argument would be so dysfunctional that it almost puts a civilian and Shindo in danger. "I swear to God," says Deku. He would then get in a running stance as he runs so fast that he disappeared from view, and then all of a sudden Inasa gets sent flying into rubble, and so did Todoroki and Gang Orca, as well as all his men, and the civilian as well as Shindo are safe. All this moving around created a huge dust cloud as everyone was shocked, and after the dust cloud cleared, Deku would be in the middle of it cracking his neck. "Are you kidding me right now?" says Bakugo. "What? They almost hurt a civilian for real," says Deku. "He did that in one move? This guy isn't even human, is he? I know he's strong, but defeating Gangorka and his men that fast, that's just really, really weird." People will be like whispering all this, by the way, and this is when the proctor would yell, "You may find this surprising, but this exam has come to a close." "Finally," says Deku. Now time skip to the students looking at the board to see if they passed, and everyone in class 1A passes except Todoroki. Even Bakugo passes this time, and Inasa also fails, but he wasn't surprised, and neither was Todoroki. However, Inasa being Inasa would know he messed up, and that's why Deku knocked him out, and he would apologize for making things worse for Todoroki, because he did. This is when Deku would approach them both as they were like talking and making up, and he would say, "I hope you understand why I hate both of you. You almost burned a rescuee. That's seriously dangerous. You could have been put in juvie for that. Honestly, knocking you out was a favor." "Still, that was a bit extreme though, don't you think?" asked Todoroki. Deku would then say, "What are you complaining about? I hate Inasa way harder. Look, he's still bleeding." Deku would then like get real because he actually sees him bleeding from his mouth, and he would heal his internal injuries while apologizing. And everyone gets their licenses except two people. Well, a lot more people get no licenses, but Bakugo also took this chance to annoy the hell out of Todoroki by flashing his license at him. And so when the proctor said that those who failed had another chance at passing, Todoroki was even more hyped than in the original. The students would then go back to their dorms excited and celebrating while also trying to cheer up Todoroki because, it's going to be okay. You messed up once, but it wasn't really your fault per se. So as for Deku, he would be with Jiro outside on the stairs as they would be looking into the sky. "So, you passed. No surprise there," says Jiro. "Is that really what you want to talk about?" asked Deku. "No, just making conversation. Besides, don't act like you hate it," says Jiro. Deku would then say, "Okay, maybe a little bit." The two would then laugh as Deku then continues to talk, saying, "Regardless, I think it's just better for us to just watch the stars. This quiet and peaceful moment is something I haven't had in a while." Jiro would then hug him closer as they would just be sitting there quietly, when all of a sudden Deku ruins the moment by standing up saying, "Oh crap. What's wrong?" asks Jiro. Deku then says, "I feel like I'm forgetting something really important." As he says this, we cut to Toga practically naked and is in Deku's pocket dimension. Where am I? What is this? She will be walking around but gets like disoriented because everything is just white and there is no end to it. She will be yelling for help. Is Toga ever gonna get out of there? And is there anything being brewed up by All for One? And is Ochako having secret feelings for Deku? I guess we'll have to find out in the next part, because this is where I'm leaving it off. Welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't, tell me in the comments why you didn't. Also, if you felt like things were a bit rushed and I was talking a little fast, it's because I have a lot of things to do. Not to say that I didn't like care about the script, I did, but you know, I just got a little bit hyped up and my voice also started to like amp up and I just started talking really fast. I hope the background noise again wasn't really annoying for you. It's been really tough to actually post lately. I would have posted 2 days back, but there was too much noise. People were doing things constantly. Yeah. I'm gonna leave now. Feel free to share this with anybody else who likes What If. Don't forget to like and subscribe, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go do my assignments. And yeah, have a good day. Stay safe.